Hello and welcome to another episode of Truth Explained. I'm Hugo Pellegrino Low, and today I'll be talking about the American power grid. As always, thank you very much for watching today's video, and I really appreciate if you can subscribe to the channel. And as always, we do have English, Spanish, French, and Portuguese subtitles. What can we do when it comes to the American power grid? Will we have another blackout in this new year in Texas? Or as in 2003 and 2019 in New York City?
The electrical power grid that powers Northern America is not a single grid, but is instead divided into multiple wide-area synchronous grids. The Eastern Interconnection and the Western Interconnection are the largest. Three other regions include the Texas Interconnection, the Quebec Interconnection, and the Alaska Interconnection. Each region delivers power at a nominal 60 Hz frequency. The regions are not usually directly connected or synchronized to each other, but there are some HVDC interconnectors. The Eastern and Western grids are connected with 1.32 GW. The North American Electric Reliability Corporation is a non-profit corporation based in Atlanta, Georgia, and formed on March 28, 2006, as the successor to the National Electric Reliability Council, which formed in the wake of the first large-scale blackout in November of 1965. The original NERC was formed on June 1, 1968, by the electric utility industry to promote the reliability and adequacy of bulk power transmission in the electric utility systems of North America. NERC's mission is to ensure the reliability of the North American bulk power system. NERC oversees 8 regional reliability entities and encompasses all of the interconnected power systems of the contiguous United States, Canada, and a portion of Baja California in Mexico. NERC's major responsibilities include working with all stakeholders to develop standards for power system operation, monitoring and enforcing compliance with those standards, assessing resource adequacy, and providing educational and training resources as part of an accreditation program to ensure power system operators remain qualified and proficient. NERC also investigates and analyzes the causes of significant power system disturbances in order to help prevent future events. The Eastern Interconnection is one of the 2 major alternating current electrical grids in North America. All of the electric utilities in the Eastern Interconnection are electrically tied together during normal system conditions and operate at a synchronized frequency operating at an average of 60 Hz. The Eastern Interconnection reaches from central Canada eastward to the Atlantic coast, south to Florida, and back west to the foot of the Rockies. The USA part has 700 GW of generating capacity. Interconnections can be tied to each other via high-voltage direct current power transmission lines, or with variable frequency transformers, which permit a controlled flow of energy while also functionally isolating the independent AC frequencies of each side. The Eastern Interconnection is tied to the Western Interconnection with 6 DC ties, to the Texas Interconnection with 2 DC ties, and to the Quebec Interconnection with 4 DC ties and a VFT. In 2009, the Tours Amiga Superstation was planned to connect the Eastern, Western and Texas interconnections via 3 5GW superconductor links. As of 2021, it has not started construction. The Western Interconnection is the other major alternating current power grid in North America. All of the electric utilities in the Western Interconnection are electrically tied together during normal system conditions and operate at a synchronized frequency of 60 Hz. The Western Interconnection stretches from Western Canada south to Baja California in Mexico, reaching eastward over the Rockies to the Great Plains. The USA part has 250 GW of generating capacity. Interconnections can be tied to each other via high-voltage direct current power transmission lines such as the North-South Pacific DC-M30, or with variable frequency transformers, which permit a controlled flow of energy while also functionally isolating the independent AC frequencies of each side. There are 7 DC ties to the Eastern Interconnection in the US and 1 in Canada. There are proposals to add 4 additional HVDC ties. It is not tied to the Alaska Interconnection. The Texas Interconnection is one of the 3 minor alternating current power grids in North America. All of the electric utilities in the Texas Interconnection are electrically tied together during normal system conditions, and they operate at a synchronized frequency operating at an average of 60 Hz. The Texas Interconnection covers most of the state of Texas. Interconnections can be tied to each other via high-voltage direct current power transmission lines, or with variable frequency transformers, which permit a controlled flow of energy while also functionally isolating the independent AC frequencies of each side. The Texas Interconnection is tied to the Eastern Interconnection with 2 DC ties, and has a DC tie and a VFT to non-NERC systems in Mexico. There is 1 AC tie switch in Dayton, Texas that has been used only 1 time in its history. The Quebec Interconnection is one of the 3 minor alternating current electrical grids in North America. The Quebec Interconnection covers all of the province of Quebec and operates at an average system frequency of 60 Hz. It connects 18 systems in the US and Canada to one electric utility company, Hydro-Quebec. It is operated as an independent AC grid for physical reasons. Because of its unique status, it is often functionally considered part of the Eastern Interconnection. The Quebec Interconnection is tied to the Eastern Interconnection with 4 high-voltage direct current power transmission lines, and with 1 variable frequency transformers line, which isolate the unsynchronized AC frequencies of each side. 37 states plus the District of Columbia took some action to modernize electric grids in the first quarter of 2017, according to the North Carolina Clean Energy Technology Center. The states did so to make electricity systems more resilient and interactive. The most common actions that states took were advanced metering infrastructure deployment, smart grid deployment, and time varying rates for residential customers. Legislatively, in the first quarter of the year, 82 relevant bills were introduced in different parts of the United States. At the close of the quarter, most of the bills remained pending. For example, legislators in Hawaii introduced a bill that would create an energy storage tax credit. In California, the state Senate had a bill that would create a new energy storage rebate program. In August 2018, Advanced Energy Economy and Citizens for Responsible Energy Solutions Forum published a policy paper that gave 5 recommendations on ways to modernize the U.S. electric power grid. These recommendations are to streamline the federal permit process for advanced energy projects, encourage grid planners to consider alternatives to investment in transmission, allow energy storage and energy efficiency to compete with additional energy generation, allow large customers to choose their own sources of electricity, and allow utilities and consumers to benefit from cloud computing software. In 2019, NREL calculated that new transmission between the grids could benefit consumers by a factor of 2.5 relative to the transmission investment. What to do? As we reimagine and rebuild America to prepare for a net-zero future, a modernized electricity grid is a critical component to increasing resiliency in our most essential services and infrastructure. Strengthening the electric grid will lessen disruptions caused by malicious actors, reduce power outages in homes across America, and help lower energy bills for all Americans by moving cheaper, cleaner electricity to where it is needed most. The U.S. electric grid is made up of more than just power plants. It includes transmission lines designed to transport energy over long distances, and distribution systems that carry electricity to the individual customer. It is a complex network of asset owners, manufacturers, service providers, and government officials at the federal, state, and local levels, all working together to provide reliable, resilient, and secure electricity. Today's electric grid is aging and is being pushed to do more than it was originally designed to do. A 21st century grid must be flexible and smarter as our energy mix continues to change, with a focus on shifting towards sustainable renewable energy sources like solar and wind. While adding clean energy capacity, we must also secure the power system against hackers, foreign actors, and natural disasters that are becoming more frequent and extreme because of climate change. The Department of Energy is working toward a 100% carbon-free power sector by 2035 in support of President Biden's climate goals. One way to achieve this is to modernize the grid. That means supporting research and development efforts that can optimize power delivery and enhance resilience, implement new interactive capabilities to allow the system to more easily respond to change, and new measurements, data analytics, and models that leverage the latest scientific advancements in mathematics and computation to increase efficiency and reliability. In addition to modernizing the grid, investments in energy infrastructure, like those proposed in the American Jobs Plan, will increase our clean energy capacity and create millions of jobs. Investments in grid resiliency include technologies that will strengthen our transmission and distribution systems, such as microgrids are a self-sufficient group of energy sources, like solar or wind, that support the energy needs of a local footprint, like a college campus or hospital complex. Microgrids can disconnect from national infrastructure to continue to operate while the main grid is down. Because of this, microgrids can strengthen grid resilience, decrease power outages, and provide energy resources for a faster system response and recovery. Demand response is a consumer's reaction to a high demand for electricity. By limiting or postponing power consumption during a time of high demand, consumers can help utilities manage increased strain on the grid. Some utilities provide consumer rebates for demand response. Advanced metering, or smart metering, lets consumers know how and when they are using electricity so they can reduce their usage. Advanced metering could also help consumers reduce their electric bills by making them aware of periods of time that have a higher cost of electricity. Grid-scale energy storage devices can help utilities continue to provide power during peak loads, when the grid may not be able to support all power needs. These devices can store electricity generated from carbon-free sources so it can be used when it is needed most. Grid hardware is critical for carrying, converting, and controlling power. Most of the grid modernization efforts have been focused on advanced digital information and communication technologies, but the physical equipment necessary to move power needs to be updated as well. The grid of the future must also support electric vehicles and charging stations, newly connected communities, and increased integration of carbon-free resources like solar and wind. A secure and resilient power grid is more than just keeping the lights on. It's vital to preserving our nation's security, economic prosperity, and the livelihood of all Americans. It means money saved for families who have more efficient homes capable of withstanding hotter summers and colder winters. It means new businesses with good-paying jobs created by entrepreneurs who can help every pocket of the country meet sustainability needs. and it means safeguarding the nation for future generations.
The solution is we gotta modernize the grid. As always, thank you very much for watching today's video. And if you have any doubts at all, you can always send me an email at hugo.loh@gmail.com. Thank you very much for watching today's episode.